What is up, my hollers? Wolfpack Leader here, and unfortunately, today is the day we witness the second coming of a horrible, horrible movie called Seed of Chucky. Okay, let's begin. Okay, maybe this movie isn't super horrible, but it's definitely the most bizarre in the entire Chucky franchise. Like literally, the movie begins with cum on the screen, and I'm not lying. Literally, once the movie starts, cum is just oozing down the screen. It's just what the heck? Like I'm confused. What the hell is happening? And then turns out we are inside Tiffany's vagina because what happened in Bride of Chucky? Well, they had sex. Yeah, they had sex, and then at the end of the movie, there's a crazy. Turns out Tiffany was pregnant, and then she was in labor after the detective dude was like touching her, I guess, to make sure she was still alive, and that thing just popped out, and it was an abomination. And that is, well, his name begins as Shitface, actually. Uh, it's kind of confusing how the movie starts because I think he's in the UK. I believe it's because Don Mancini had to film in the UK for a good majority of the movie. I don't know. If you guys know the full story of the production, let me know in the comments below to give me a full, education, I guess, of what really happened during production. Also, sorry if I sound super pessimistic. It's just I really don't want to do this, guys. This movie is just that bad to talk about. But let's just continue. I'm doing it for you guys. I'm going through the pain of talking about this movie for you guys. All right, so let's continue with. Well, we get introduced to their son, which is Shitface, and he's I guess he was taking advantage of some English man, and now he is a puppet, I guess, because he says he's a ventriloquist, but not really. He does get tired of of being a pet, I guess, because turns out he's watching the TV. He's in a cage because that's where his ventriloquist puts him in. And then after that, he's in the cage, and then the TV's on, and then he sees that they're making a movie about Chucky and Tiffany. The movie's called Chucky Goes Psycho, and then he sees I guess he's doing like an interview thing, and then he sees his hand, and it says made in China, which is really stupid. I'm like, how would they do that in real life? When they make movies, they obviously wouldn't have made in China or any marks like that. It's just a weird movie, guys. I think this movie is a self-parody. It's a satire of itself, making fun of itself, which I guess some people like, but I don't know. I think they went way too far with that, making fun of itself. But yeah, so then what's his name? Glenn. Well, his name becomes Glenn. Right now he's still Shitface. Escapes on a truck, and then he does the whole, like in every single Chucky movie, he ships himself out to the destination he needs to get to, which is his parents, because he wants to go see his parents since he saw them on TV, and they had the same made in China stamp thingy, that's on the toys. And he makes it. He gets shipped into a studio. I'm gonna guess it's Universal Studios because, well, it's a Universal Studios movie. So why wouldn't it be at Universal Studios? So he gets dropped off where all this, I guess like the costumes and props are at, and that's where he finally meets his parents, which are Tiffany and Chucky, and because they're animatronics, just like every other Chucky movie, but it's like a movie within a movie kind of thing, because they're making a movie about Chucky. And I guess it turns out he needs to wake them up, and turns out he had the necklace that they try when they're trying to put their souls into another to those two characters from Bride of Chucky, those forgettable characters. I don't even remember their names. Jade, I guess, is one of them. If you guys remember, they try to put their souls into that couple, and they needed the amulet, which was from Child's Play 1, which wasn't really in Child's Play 1. They totally photoshopped that when he saw on the newspaper his dead corpse from the first movie. So yeah, after that, he takes out the amulet and he reads the chant, the iconic chant. And then they wake up. They just wake up like that, and then Chucky, being Chucky, he's a dick. He makes fun of Shitface, and because they don't really know, that that's their son yet, because he hasn't revealed that to them. It's actually really stupid how they find out that that's his son, because again, the made in China matching uh, marks on them that they have. It's really stupid. And then I guess they all assume that they're all related. Okay, so after they assume that that's their son because again of the marks on their wrists, they have a little family reunion. But then someone comes in. And who is it? It's one of the I guess the chief in animatronics. I don't know. I don't really know how this works yet. He needs to take apart one of the dolls, which is Tiffany, because she keeps glitching out while while they're recording scenes. And he does that, and then while he's gonna take her apart, and then he takes off the back piece of her back, I guess. It's weird. It's so weird because like you can see her spine and muscle tissue and everything like that, which is so weird. I'm like, wait, I thought when they come back to life or when they're because you know the rules of putting your soul on a doll, it slowly becomes human. I thought they were brand new dolls, but I guess not. So I guess that's why they need the heart of Dabala or the amulet of Dabala. I still don't get. I don't really get the rules. They change up the laws of becoming of transferring your soul into a different body or a doll that it slowly becomes human. So it doesn't really make any sense at this point. But anyways, yeah, they try to take apart Tiffany, and then Chucky and Tiffany, they throw like this wire thing that's capable of like ripping your head off. It's like a really strong wire, so they rip the guy's head off, and then they start making out. And then Chucky makes a remark saying, "Hey, you're pissing your pants," which you hear a lot in this movie, or twice, 3 times, I don't know. And then they try to find out his gender because he says he's pissing your pants or you're pissing your pants. I don't know. I guess they try to figure out the gender because they literally take off his pants and they notice he doesn't have any genitals because dolls don't have genitals. You know, why would he have genitals? But so then because he doesn't have anything down there, Tiffany assumes that he's a female, but Chuck is still saying like, oh no, that's not, he's my son. You know, he's our boy. And then yeah, I guess they keep arguing about that until Jennifer Tilly comes in, because she snuck a bar from earlier when they were recording a scene. She snuck in I think it's a candy bar, some chocolate into Chucky's overalls, and she's trying to get it back, but then she sees the dead body. She freaks out. Well, she makes out with it first, and then she freaks out, and then after that, she goes back home because paparazzi and all that stuff. Okay, so Jennifer Tilly is leaving into a limo, and then they drive off. But for some reason, Chucky and his family tag along, and while they're in the limo, Tiffany decides she wants to transfer her soul into Jennifer's body because her voice is beautiful, I guess, because they're played by the same person, by the same actress. So it would have been funny. But for some reason, Tiffany already knows that Redman's gonna be going to Jennifer's house for drinks. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like one of those things where they just know, just because. Just for the sake of the plot, I guess. And then Chucky, decides, or Chucky is fine with that. He's like, yeah, I'll go into Redman's body. Why not? Or he says, I'm cool with that. And then after that, I hate that the whole movie takes place at Jennifer Tilly's house. It's just really weird because tons of random stuff happen, which involve Chucky masturbating because they need his semen or his seed, so they can have kids because Glenn also needs a body, and he's decided the only way to do it is to do voodoo pregnancy, which is a thing for some reason. Okay, so the cool thing about voodoo pregnancy is that you go into labor like super fast, like I think within like 2 days, and yeah, that's pretty much what they're waiting for the entire movie, for a good chunk of the movie. So yeah, after she has the babies, Glenn is still indecisive about his gender, which is pretty interesting to talk about in 2004. Like I know everyone that's reviewed this movie has said the same thing, but that's crazy that they talk about that in 2004. I feel like it would have been a lot more appealing if they talked about that now. I don't know how the movie would have done if it were released now, but I feel like it would have been more popular. It would appeal to more demographics, in my opinion. But who knows? So yeah, in this movie, he decides that, well, he does, decide in the end. But again, at first he's still really indecisive. He's gender confused, I would say. And then this is when Chucky has a big revelation. Decides he doesn't want to deal with the whole becoming human anymore because it's just way easier being a doll because when you're human, you age, you can't get it up anymore, which is kind of funny, I'll admit. And then he decides he's just gonna stay a doll. But then Tiffany, disagrees, and she decides that she wants to leave, but Chucky and take the kid with her, and that pisses off Chucky. And this is pretty much the end of the movie. Chucky gets pissed off throughout the whole movie, and he's trying to kill Tiffany and Glenn and Jennifer Tilly if he can, if he ever gets the chance to, because the movie ends at a hospital. Oh, sorry, there's another scene before that, but yeah, the movie pretty much ends at a hospital. He dies, which not really, because I think 5 years later passed by, and this is where we find out that Glenn decides to be Mel, and he transfers his soul into one of the babies, which is a boy, so he grows up to be a boy, while they have the other girl, Glenda, which is like the evil version of Glenn, kind of like we saw earlier when he dressed up as similar to his mom, but was also a psycho, because Chucky wanted him to be a killer, which is also part of the plot. Yeah, this movie has weird plots. But yeah, he's 5 years old now, and then Chucky sends his arm, and he starts to strangle him, which I guess you can strangle people even if you're all chopped up into like million pieces. He was pretty much dismembered. But there's a lot of things I've always thought when you connect this movie, Seed of Chucky to Curse of Chucky. It's like, how did he already learn that disembowel spell where he can transfer his soul into multiple bodies, and that's how he was able to come back again. I don't know, it's really confusing. Oh yeah, give me your theory. How do you think Chucky was able to send his arm in a package, even after he was dismembered? In the comments below, let me know what your theory is. But yeah, this movie, guys, it's a mess. I don't even want to keep talking about it. Just even talking about it's just really bad. I even showed my little cousin this movie, and even he's like, "What the hell is happening?" And it was his first time watching it too, and because I tried getting him into the Chucky movies because he tagged along with me to go watch the new Child's Play 2019, which was a pretty good movie, and I am gonna review that after Cult of Chucky. So 2 more movies after this, and it's time for the remake, which I'm super excited to review. But again, we're still on Seed of Chucky. Let's finish this up. This movie, I'll admit, it's still enjoyable. Like I said, every Chucky movie is enjoyable because Chucky in general is super amusing to watch. But this movie, it's just really weird. It's a really weird movie to me. And honestly, I feel like it doesn't even get enough screen time. For me, the main character is Tiffany. I feel like Tiffany takes over in this movie, not really Chucky. But it's still a Chucky movie. But again, this movie, it's weird to me because again, he feels like a side character, and then the plots in this movie are really weird. There's like multiple plots going on all at once, so it's like clashing with one another, and I feel like this movie doesn't have time to breathe. And I know, again, this is a self-parody. It's a satire making fun of itself, but still, it's just a really weird movie, guys. I feel like this movie could have been a better movie. I think it's the fact that I don't know if it's the fact that he has a son now, or again, this movie is just damned from the beginning. Maybe they could have done a different type of sequel. Maybe this movie should have been Curse of Chucky. Maybe this is when they should have decided to make the series a lot more serious again. But nope, the series is saved in Curse of Chucky, and I'm more excited to review that than what I'm doing right now. So if I had to give a final score, I would even give this a good score. I would probably give it like a 4, a 4 if I'm being generous. If I'm being generous, a 5. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4 out of 10. It's really not a good movie, guys. But again, if you love Chucky, still watch this movie. Go back and watch it again because again, he's so amusing, 24/7, even if he's acting kind of weird. But this is the saddest we see Chucky, honestly, guys. And again, this movie has really nothing going on for it, if I'm being honest. I think the only thing that actually makes it interesting is the cinematography, because I actually heard that Don Mancini got involved with the cinematography, and the cinematography in this movie it's top notch. It's honestly the best in the whole franchise. Well, besides the remake and honestly Curse and Cult, but I mean like so far. And it has a really nice aesthetic to it. Like something about it is just visually appealing. I don't know, but that's pretty much it, guys. Again, that's probably the only thing I like about the movie is the cinematography and the way it's presented visually. I think it looks really nice. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your comments down below if you actually like this movie. I personally, I don't. Again, I kind of hate it, but I kind of don't. It's still enjoyable, but I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for Curse of Chucky.